And our team coverage continues for you live at 5 as we're covering every angle of this tragedy. Let's now go to my colleague Claire Kopsky, who's been talking to neighbors here in this neighborhood. Claire, what have they been telling you?
Well, Siobhan, today I think the juxtaposition of seeing this pile of debris across the street from other multi-million-dollar homes is what has been so jarring for neighbors. I can tell you from where I'm standing right now, I'm staring at another one of those homes, and just beyond it, the lake is sitting right here, Lake Norman, less than a football field away. Neighbors have been walking by throughout the day, walking their dog out on a jog, taking a bike ride, and when they come up, I can tell you they are silenced by what they see across the street. They have been staying on this side of the street where we're standing, trying to give the Farley family some privacy today as they've been here sifting through what's left of the home. Like many neighbors, Hernando Pin was in bed when the silence of the night was broken.
We all felt like an earthquake. It was incredible.
A shake he says he couldn't place when he didn't see any damage.
The entire house moved. The dogs got scared and came to my bedroom. And I said, okay, everything is okay. My wife woke up. I said, I'm going to go search. Went around the house. I couldn't find nothing strange.
He lives more than a mile away and this afternoon hopped on his bike for an afternoon ride when he came upon what was left of his neighbor's home.
And it's like there's nothing left. I never seen nothing like this before.
He, like many neighbors, came up to the obliterated 6,300 square foot home and did not have many words.
It's unbelievable, but you said yesterday you couldn't imagine that was going to happen to you. So if you think your life, you got it for granted, think twice.
Caleb flew back to North Carolina earlier today, and he's now in Newton, surrounded by family and friends. And we want to take you to David Wisnett, who's in Newton at that gathering. David, what can you tell us?
Well, Siobhan, I can tell you that in Newton as well as in Maiden, initially there was just shock that something so terrible could happen. And then as the day progressed, it turned into reflection on the life of Robert Farley and what he has meant to this community and the impact that he's had, and also appreciation and support being shown for Caleb Farley, who, as you mentioned, is here. Now, you can't go far in the town of Maiden without seeing support for the Maiden Blue Devils. After all, it is the biggest little football town in America. And when one of their own goes to the NFL, that's even better. Folks here tell me, much as they enjoyed watching Caleb Farley play football, they've been even more impressed with his giving back to the community in many ways. So when you talk about somebody like the Farleys, whether that's Robert or Caleb, this is typical of how folks describe them.
I would say we would be well behind him because he was always, I think, did the right thing.
Yeah, and folks just have good words to say about the Farleys. In fact, you can probably see Caleb. That's him right there in the white T-shirt speaking with this Newton police officer. They had sort of put together this gathering at the barbershop that Robert Farley operated with his brother. They didn't know how many to expect, but I can tell you there's a big crowd here. A lot of folks have been coming by to show their support. Some folks wearing Maiden T-shirts and football T-shirts and things like that. And again, everyone has been very gracious and very kind. I'll have more coming up at 6. Live in Newton, David Wisnett, WBTV. On your side.
All right, David, it is so tragic to see, but it's also uplifting to see this community come together.
Well, Siobhan, you've said it, but there is still disbelief on just how this could happen. Authorities did hold that news conference earlier this afternoon, and we were told that they do believe that a gas leak is likely the cause of this explosion. Now, you can see just this devastation from the video. Heartbreaking to see these images, the debris of the home on Barber Loop in Mooresville. Now, the 911 calls from neighbors were told started to come in around midnight. 61-year-old Robert Farley, Caleb's dad, was found dead around 4:30 this morning under the rubble. 25-year-old Christian Rogers amazingly managed to walk out of the home. He is alive and still in the hospital. Now, officials say it is possible gas had built up inside of the home.
It had to be. It had to be. For as large a house as that was, that gas was there for a while. It finally found its way to an ignition source and caused the explosion. There could not be anyone left in it alive. That was my first thought. And when I found out someone did walk out of it, I was amazed.
And as you just heard from Iredell County officials talking about the potential of a gas leak. Now, we did get a statement from Dominion Energy that tells us they are working with emergency personnel. Part of that statement also said, quote, "We are deeply saddened at the tragic loss of life." Reporting live in Iredell County, Brandon Hamilton, WBTV, on your side.